going on, Mike? How's my audio? Hey, Rio. What's happening, brother? Hey, Craig. Good morning. Hey, Andrew. You guys see my screen share okay? Cool. Well, we got the hardcore crew on as usual. Morning after Valentine's Day. Not sure if many of you had a late night or not. But guys, look, this cable's a little sideways here this morning. Pretty sideways. All right, I'm short euro on this tail, and we may want to add here. May want to add. So 30-minute cycles down. We had the initial break sideways. Now we're having another break here. All right, pretty clear downtrend, right? There's your 8 on the 15-minute, showing you the immediate downtrend. All right. 5-minute cycle is low, but this is the right place to sell some on the 1 minute. I'm going to short a little bit more here. If you sold here, you could have covered some here. I didn't. And I'm going to reshort a piece. So I kind of want to work into a short. We may come a little bit higher here. That's okay. Oh, what else is going on here this morning? What do we have for numbers? What are you guys trading? You guys awake? Okay. We got their jobs data, right? You got some CAD, CPI at 8:30. They yelling again today? What could she possibly say that she didn't say yesterday? Just more same drivel every time. I'm still looking for this dollar yen to move higher. What's going on, Oscar? Hey, bud. We're short euro here. Sold some up here. I kind of missed the cover. There was an opportunity to cover into these lows, but day trade short. 30-minute cycles down. I just sold another piece into this high right here. But overall, guys, a strong morning for the dollar, right? Um, Let me cables sideways. I mean, that could change. So let's keep an eye on our cycle. Big bearish wall down, real money candles sideways. This could take another leg lower. This 30-minute cycle is pretty low. So is the 15-minute. I don't see a lot to do there. Same thing on pound versus the yen. I was thinking about punching out of some dollar Swissy here that I'm long, core long. I think I'm going to take some on that up here. Should have done it earlier. Thought we could run a little bit more. I'm just going to take some. It's been a nice move, though. We had great buys here on the daily around pi. I covered some euro versus kiwi also. I got to signal that kiwi yen is higher too. I'm going to take some there. Yeah, we'll look at those in a second. What's going on, Dave? Thanks, brother. 105.5. All right, good to know. I'm shorting more guys here right now on this 1 minute. I like this little candle here on the 1 minute. I'm actually going to get heavy. Just risking this candle right here. We just broke that little 8 swing line setup. And then I'm going to bid into these lows. All right. When I get heavy, I don't look for 30 pips. I mean, I'll bid down here, you know, three or four, five 1 minute candles below the market. Uh, Oscar, how you doing on your dollar yen, bud? All right, trying to get filled down here. Should be covering some guys. You don't have anything on? All right. Should be covering some down here. Why am I not getting? Did you guys get short there? Euro? That was pretty fast on that. That just stuck out to me right there. Boom. That's just trading what you know. I mean, I was in the middle of a conversation talking about I don't even know what, and I see that, and it's just immediate. Same thing right here. Boom. No hesitation. All right. Let's see if we can get a bigger, larger drop. All right, let me signal a couple things in the room. You guys know what to do. Just bid below the market if we keep dropping. Come out of some, and we'll see what we get on the next bounce. It's 30-minute on dollar yen. Kind of goofy looking. Technically, it's down. 15 minutes still coming lower. I don't see much day trade to do there. Pound yen, I mean, I want to lean or I want to think long. Maybe we can break out for another move up. Same thing there, though. It's just kind of hanging out. Not the cycle's not really sure what it wants to do. 15 minutes low. So let's let the yen maybe strengthen some more. The trend is up. I mean, we could lean a little bit long, guys, pound yen. Just to get in there. Let's wait on at least the 1 minute cycle here. Nice hold down here, pi. It's beautiful. Pound yen's back at pi on the hourly. Or not pound yen, QE yen. Look at this bottoming tail here. It's nice. New Zealand yen. This is a great carry trade. It's good long-term core long to have. I'm gonna take some up here though. All right, might be getting another leg down here. No shot. There's your 105.5, Dave. Probably. Probably. Guys, I'm gonna just nibble small pound yen. Just keep this one small. It's kind of choppy. Need this 15-minute to, yeah, it's trying to cross. This cable's just a little bit sideways, so just gonna relax on that one. Still just play it. I'm just playing it small. It's nice little kind of Kiwi Euro versus New Zealand dollar is kind of moving like it's breaking here. Um, let's maybe play this one on the short side. Give me 1 second. So you guys see how here's pi going sideways, and now we just broke the fresh new lows. Euro versus New Zealand dollar. Pretty oversold on the 30-minute. Cycle's still down. It's very low. It's pretty oversold. Let's let this 15-minute come back up. Maybe there's a trade there. Still core short that one anyway. Let's let this pound yen come lower. It's kind of a trend line going on down here, uptrend line. All right. Might get a bounce in the euro. Let's see. You're Aussie. Yeah, it is. Oversold, but heavy as hell. Jeez. Free fall. And the weekly level is it's going to run at this 136.75. Weekly level, the weekly cycle is really low. Nice failure up in front of pie. This 15-minute cycle is kind of low on the euro. It's making me a little hesitant to short again. Yeah, I think I'm gonna let's hold off free shorting, guys. 15-minute cycle's low, 5 minutes open back up. You may get a higher low here, pound yen, but I kind of want it to show me something first. This is a pretty big wall now. Okay, Andrew, thanks. It was just a sea of red on the Aussie. So close to getting that to roll over, and it just wouldn't release. That's a great example of getting stuck on the 8. It's true on the even on the day trade. You get stuck on that 8. Every time you're close to being in the money, just makes a higher low, goes higher. All right. I'm going to get out of this pound yen, guys. Broke the TMS. It's just a one lot. It's fine. But I don't see a reason to be long. So stopping on pound yen. It's a big wall now. I want to go the other way. If we get a bounce, I want to short into a rally now. We still got that 15-minute cycle that's low. And we're back at pi. It's just I don't like this wall. Like, there's a difference between if you have pi like this and you get a pullback like this towards pi, it's different than just a collapse into pi. I don't really like buying collapses. I want to buy more orderly pullbacks. I mean, if you bought here, if we buy here and then you buy your next one lot down here, you know, if you bought one here and two here, your average is more like this. It's still manageable. You could probably, you know, if this bounces, you could probably get out. But the bigger play now is to sell into a rally after this type of a wall. You guys all see that? Collapses are different than an orderly pullback. This is power right now. This is power, 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 power. And you can see on the 1 minute, broke into the southern hemisphere, right? So we want to be sellers now. Getting a sell set up again on the euro. I think I'm just gonna hang out. If it makes lower lows, it's fine. I'm not gonna add to it. Just don't like this 15-minute this low to add. We're not even back to the 8. All right, Dave. All right, so guys, we broke that wedge too. See this power? Um, Trying to think if we want to maybe hit some down. And on the hourly, pretty clear technical break. Just too oversold. I don't want to chase it. Let's hope that we get a bounce now on Sterling. This is pretty clear break here. All right, guys. I'm getting filled here on more euro covering more euro. Take profit on lower lows. You guys making money on the euro? All right. That's how we do. Now, did you guys stay light on this first buy? I only did one lot. I hope you did. I mean, I might say I'm keep it small. That's what I mean. That's a good lesson too, and just sometimes waiting for that 15-minute. It's never cross, so it keeps you from adding sometimes. All right, good. Man, how strong is Aussie yen, huh? New highs. Oh man, I wish I was a little more long there. Well, nice cover and new lows. That's why we do. That's why we do that. It's 15 minutes still low. is I'm gonna hold off selling euro just because I don't really like the 15-minute cycle. I already made some money. You get that 15-minute cycle to cross up, I don't press anymore. You know what I mean? Now you got to move into more of a trailing method now. You can use this pivot high, definitely this pivot high, which is kind of where we started the trade up in here. I mean, we're getting a 1-minute sell setup. This is what it is. Let's see what else. Gold's kind of trading in a range, 1220 to 1240. Doesn't like dollar up, rates up. Dollar looks fantastic. What a call we had long term again. People making dollar index calls that it's going to 86 right on the lows. It's just useless. We retraced about halfway of the move, guys, down from the year. Probably up 8 days. 9 to 10 days. See the daily cycles high here. So makes sense to be taking profit like we have been on dollar yen, dollar Swissy. The emerging market stuff hasn't performed at all. Maybe that reverses. That daily cycle is pretty low. Just not quite there yet. All right, guys, this bounce is getting interesting now. 15-minute cycle still down and low, pound yen. That's not very helpful for shorts. Kind of held high. Let's let this 5-minute come up, and then maybe if we get halfway, we can short this, all right? Even though we don't have the cycle, it's a good enough 1-minute trend, a good enough wall here. But we got to at least wait on the 5-minute. I mean, you may fail right here at the 8, but we don't have the 15 minutes, so I'd rather be more conservative and get it back halfway. Like guys, if we bought here and then we added a couple lots down there to try to work out of the long, you would be coming out of some right here for sure, right? On this pop. But I think we want to look to be short right here. This is the first place you might fail right here. If you want to short a small lot, you can. All right, let's do this. I'll sell a small piece, and that way it'll tempt the market to go higher up to here, right? Well, guys, sold the high there. I guess I'll scalp a piece back. But, the old wall says you can't pick tops. Just, you know, close your eyes and buy them the whole way down. Just keep buying. This euro is going to reverse a little. Um, you're starting to break the TMS on the 1 minute. So this is your first trailing stop area. Or again, we're using this pivot high. Or you can do both. So I'm gonna cover. I'm gonna cover. Ooh, just poke through that high. If we trade back up here again, I'm just gonna cover another half of what I'm short, and then I'll probably let the rest of the scope back above this pivot. You guys see what I'm saying? Euro news, nice. Have you guys heard? And I mean, I refuse to listen to Bloomberg opinion, but you guys heard much about the new Treasury Secretary? Has he said much about what he thinks about the dollar? I've been paying attention, but I really haven't delved into it much. Still short euro. I didn't cover any back. You can lean short some cable here too. The big flush can't bounce. 15 minutes still down. It's pretty oversold, but I mean, you could lean a little bit short. It's right in the 8. I haven't been trading bonds much day trade. Hourly cycles down, 30 minutes low. May short some bonds if this 15-minute comes up higher. How about Euro Kiwi here, guys? On the short side. This 15-minute can come a little higher. Right at the 8. I'm gonna short a little bit there, day trade. Just keep it small. I mean, there's a chance we could rally all the way back halfway. I kind of want to put a toe in the water. Maybe we can add into it. All right, we're waiting on some 15-minute cycles now on the short side of some of these pairs. As I'm gonna grab some food. All right, I'm here. I'll be back. Okay. Mm. Guys, if you if you were fast enough to cover anything here, I talked about it and then I didn't push the button. Short, anything you cover here, you can resell now. I'm just gonna wait again. Still waiting for this spot. Yeah, I'm gonna sell a piece pound yen. Just playing it small, but I really do want it to go higher. So if it doesn't, then I don't want to. At least I'll have a little bit more to play with. I guess so, guys. On a teaching note, along those same lines, the amateur is terrified of the market going against them, right? We actually want the market to rally so we can short more at this level, right? It's a completely different mindset. So the losing trader does pretty much the opposite of everything they're supposed to do. And if you know how to work your size, you know, you can be short from the absolute low and work into a position. The further the distance you have to, the further you are away from where the market is, your average cost makes it a lot more difficult to work your average cost. But I'm just saying, when you start to say, okay, this is my risk, this is the wall, about halfway, and I'm not even talking about the cycle, I'm just talking about purely looking at the price action. You want this to rally. You know what I mean? If you get this bearish move, it only rallies to here and then fails, you're going to miss it because you don't want to chase this. The right thing to do is not chase here. You want that rally back to short into. And then, so we have our wall technique, right? We have the bands up here. We have the descending 30. And then we want to use our cycle, the time component, to help us also. So we can sell more on a 5-minute cross. And then, like I keep saying, the 15-minute is what we really need. I mean, you just can't get aggressive when you have this going on the 15-minute. You just got to keep that in mind from a time perspective. But it should be very difficult, guys, when you can be more confident when you have this, it breaks, You get all that bearishness, it's going to be very unlikely to go all the way back above these highs, especially in a straight line. So this is where our risk is, right? So we can play that on the short side. It's just a matter of working their size right. Light here, heavier up here, and then waiting on the cycles. I mean, just looking at this 15-minute, you probably make a lower high now. Up here at the 30, this whole area we want to work. Euro's back on the lows. Trades like death. Glad we didn't stop out up here. A little bit of patience. These are little poke throughs, little fake outs. Sometimes it's good to use a 5-minute close. You know, guys? But let's cover some into this low. Let's cover some lower lows if you're still short. I'm going to sell another tiny piece. I emphasize tiny on pound yen, okay? 5% of your max position size. Who's still short euro? Okay. Where'd you get flat, Dave? Here? Or did you just cover into the low? Okay. I want you guys trying to get used to let the market take you out on the last few lots. because you're gonna have these days where we're gonna catch something big. And it's just the right habit to be into. It's just trying to let the market take you out. But still a good trade. Okay. Well, that's fine. But you know what I mean, though, right? Just letting the trailing a piece. Right. What other numbers do we have? Yeah. Um, I mean, there's two sides to that. I mean, I want you guys taking when we have when you're day trading. Like if you had to make money every single day, like I don't know, we could pick an example like I don't know, like what am I thinking? What am I trying to say here? Like if you had to make money every day, I don't know, maybe you think of something like Mafia comes to mind. If you had to go to the Mafia at the end of the day with your trading profits, or they're going to take a finger, you can be better off when you're in the money taking what you have if you got to make money every single day trading. So I want you guys to have that mentality a little bit. It's going to be easier to be more consistent if you're just trying to get on base versus trying to break the you know McGuire's record. Does McGuire still have the home run record in the season? Or who broke that? Somebody break that? Yeah, yeah, and Sammy Sosa, that guy. I got distracted. But does he have the home run record still, or did Bonds break it, or somebody else I don't know about that does a new form of steroids? Anyway, you guys get my point. It's easier to get on base every game than just try to hit grand slams every game. So I want you to have that mentality a little bit because I've been there where I mean I wanted to crush it every day, and then 3 out of 5 days I would end up going home down on the day, and it's an exhausting way to trade. So I want you guys taking when you have it at the right points in time and space, but I also want you trailing some because that's where you're going to catch your whales. But if you knew that you didn't make money, you're going to lose a finger, I think you'd be taking profit more often than not. And you'd also stop trading for some of you that are over trading. And you get a 15-minute cycle that's low, you've already made money. Why are you pressing into the lows? You know, it's the stuff you got to ask yourself. Or you get up for London sleep 3 hours, you trade well all morning, you have profit in your day trades in your morning, right? And then you decide to get greedy on the lows and you give it all back into lunch. You just waste your entire morning. So that's some of the psychology stuff that I just want you guys to start kind of thinking about. Yeah. No, I was Oscar. I was a presser. I was a presser. I think that's a pretty good analogy. It's a mafia analogy. You got to go out there in the markets and bring me back at least 1 pip in profit today, or we're taking a finger. I bet you guys would pay attention to your cycles and your trends real sharply. That was a chase. It's true though, right? You give it a little different perspective. You're like, yeah, I don't know. I'm already up on the day. I think I'm good. Down here, you'd be like, I know I saw this is bearish. I know I'm really antsy to short, but I'm just gonna wait and see if we bounce because I don't want to get short in the hole. I know there was a time though when I would see red like this, and then see red again. I'd be like, oh, I'm getting in short, and I would be short right here. It's just a different level of patience. That was before I really was built in the timepiece into my trading. All right, guys, what are we doing here? Who's still short the euro? Are we making money? Looks like we're going to get a lower high here, pound yen. So now there's a couple things we could do, guys. There's a swing line set up here on the 5-minute. If you break that, I'm going to short more. This 5-minute just crossed in the cycle, right? And I'm going to get heavy if we take out this low. And then the big chunk, the piece that I put on, I'll put the stop right above that high. We could still travel a little bit higher though, the 15-minute cycle. That's why I want to wait for the swing line setup at least. Probably back towards pi on the 1-minute. Yeah, not quite. What, Oscar, you can't shoot with all your different fingers? It is kind of hard to pull the trigger with the pinky, but the gunslinger like you. There's a lot of interesting things though, guys, on the topic of psychology of trading that we should spend more time on. Guys, 1 second. Um, Sorry about that. What was I saying on the psychology of trading? Okay, Dave, that's good. That's fine. I'm with that. We kind of broke the low here, didn't we? So yeah, I'm gonna short more too. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go in on a heavier piece. All right. So in on the heavier piece, stop above the high. Right. Okay. Is everybody on the same game plan? Okay. Nice, guys. Look at that. How good is our model? All right, now start bidding below the market. When you go heavy, this is back to what we were doing earlier on the euro. If you're waiting for lower lows and you're heavy, too far. Just start building into these lows. And then, okay. When you get heavy, I don't look for a lot of distance. Dave, just keep hitting the market down, all right? That's right. Like those fingers. All right, I'm in there. And the other thing, when you get heavy, don't lose track of the data or what's coming up, okay? So for me, I think about risk too in terms of when I'm exposed to the market. Shorter periods, the shorter amount of time that you have a lot of risk exposed to the market is less risky than being long, leveraged long real estate that you can't get out of for 6 months. But when you get heavy, I don't want you guys getting heavy in front of a big number. You know what I mean? That's an easy way to get rinsed. And it's okay to get rinsed on smaller position, obviously, best versus something heavy. So that type of thinking just comes from being a lot of it institutional. It's like, all right, I got something on here. If I go through the number, or if I have 200 million treasuries to buy below the market and I forget about the number and we go through the number and I call my customers back and I tell them they're filled, furious. Like, Jason, we've been trading together for 5 years. I don't want to work through claims. And then they either tell you, F you, you're wearing them. And then I got 100 million tens that I don't have the risk for. Or they say, fine, click, never trade with me again. And that's happened to me where I would forget to cancel an order, or I would be long position and you go through a number. It's not fun. So you only do that a few times and then you start paying attention to the clock. So when you guys get heavy, don't lose track of the clock or in the numbers, Now, there's another way to play this aggressively too. This is getting really micro. But here we are in the 5-minute. When you get the swing line break, you start shorting, okay? And then you flush. This is a little wall here, right? So you can even start hitting it again on the way back up this wall. You could just feed into it all the way back into this high if you wanted. You guys see what I mean? You could just drill this thing if you want, obviously you got size limits, but I mean, anyway, that's the same wall concept. You just do it on you're basically doing it on the 1-minute level. And then if you short into this candle, and then you come out on that next move lower. I'm gonna short a little bit more here. So we don't really have numbers here until 8:30 that we need to worry about. I'm gonna sell some more Euro Kiwi, guys. This 50-minute cycle is high enough now. We're right back at the 30. I'm gonna sell some here and then maybe short some more if we take out that low. Come on, let's get some follow through. If we get a BCI here, be good. I'm bidding into these lows. What's cable doing? We may be waiting on this 15-minute to go down. That's okay. Okay, I'm kind of noticing today emerging market stuffs, mainly the peso and lira, that maybe they might be setting up for a swing trade move higher. See, this is an orderly pullback, right, guys? And we talked about earlier a collapse versus orderly pullback. It's pretty orderly. This daily cycle is just close to turning back up, most likely. So let's kind of watch over these next few days. But if we kind of round out here, there might be an opportunity to catch the right-hand side of this. You guys know what I mean? So we kind of want to see it get back above the 8-day. And again, the 8's showing you what? The intermediate term trend, right? Which has been an intermediate term pullback within the context of the long-term uptrend. So we want to start seeing the hourly make higher highs to start getting more aggressive. But I think we're close. And it's kind of the same thing on the peso. All right, so we'll see what wins out. 15-minute cycle, or this 5 minutes going to come back up? I mean, the 15 minutes not down yet. Starting to see some signs of life here. Very similar chart, dollar peso. The cycle's a little bit quicker here to come up. I guess we're holding up the market over here, pound yen, with all our bids. Tiny bottoming tail in the euro. It's pretty oversold. All right, zero chance at going lower, pound yen. You guys know I'm kidding when I say that, right? Some of you that are new. I say that when I don't want to jinx it, when I want it to go lower. So instead of saying, oh, here we go, we're going lower, jinx it, say zero chance of going lower. Zero shot. All right. Euro, Euro Kiwi. That's right. We gotta keep them guessing. But really, if this was really bearish, this shouldn't be taking this long to go down. So Euro Kiwi might come up more. Still waiting on these 15-minute cycles. Come on, cable, fail at the 8. Let's go. Bond market's quiet. Just an old-fashioned range trade. Pretty much sold twos into the highs. Wow. Is the market closed now? Energy dies off like right in coming into 6, right before New York guys get in. Oscar, is it lunchtime there for you? Yeah. Okay. You too, Rio. Well, I mean at 8:30, right? Unless I'm missing something, I still have a couple hours. But it just slows down right this time. London's lunch. Probably right, Dave. Probably right. Yeah, it's too bad this didn't have some follow through. So the risk is we trade back above this high, and I'm just going to take off that heavy chunk and wait. try to get it back on at some point. Just have more work to do on the short side if that happens. It's 15-minute cycle. Just asking to go down. Did any of you guys sell Euro Kiwi? All right. Still in good shape here. Just might be a little early. Pound yen's going to test us here. You could sell some more Kiwi. Euro Kiwi. 15 minutes crossing, all right? getting the sell set up. So this risk is above this high. I'm going to get a little bit more aggressive now. Euro's still riding the 8 train. All right, that's what I want to see. Lower high. No, we want to keep it there. Come on, 15-minute. Guys, here's the thing. Sometimes when I miss and then you bounce away from it, I raise my bids up a little bit, even though Maybe some of them are just below where I'm short from. It's just that it's a distance thing. If you're bidding here, you don't get filled, and then you move back away all the way up to here. This is a kind of a greater distance, you know what I mean? And you have lows here. So sometimes it makes sense to put some here in front of that low and just move these up. And then in case you do come down and kind of do a range, like a kind of consolidate, if you cover some here, then you can put some back out on the next bounce. Just a little. Let's go. All right, guys. I'm bidding a little bit here, 30, and then still down into these lows in the 20s. Got a pivot now above this high. And on that size that we added, I'll move that stop from here. I mean, it's a mental stop on the big chunk. I'll move it from there to this high now. If the bulls take this all the way back up, not good. All right. Are you guys feel comfortable? You know what to do here? I'm gonna step off for a second. I'm here, but maybe I'll make it go down. This is brutal, huh? Did some of you guys get filled here? Down here, guys? Did any of you get filled? All right, cool. Me too. I mean, just a couple lots. Just watching these highs. I know I talked about this high before, but when we got covered up on a little bit, I feel comfortable with using this. Again, remember this is like a fence or a rope. The rings, the ropes in the ring. You just give it a little bit of room up here. If you want to trade it around, you can try to offer some here, be bidding down here. But also, normally, I don't like to just sit in the trade with size as we just go sideways. So anytime the market just goes sideways, guys, through time, that 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 amount of time elapse, it tends to erode the powerful or the bearishness of this move. The longer you go sideways, time heals. It's just a lot more trades. I mean, this is just a quiet period before New York comes in. I'm just saying in general, from a positioning perspective, I mean, if this was a weekly chart or a daily chart, it's just all the bearishness. The longer you go sideways, there's people that are getting flat. The positions just change. So if it wasn't for the fact that the 15-minute is trying to roll over and we've been just going sideways here, sometimes I will just take off some of my risks just because we're going sideways through time with having nothing to do with the actual price action. But because the 15-minute cycle is really close to rolling over, I'm trying to stay with it here. I mean, it keeps kind of crossing below it. Maybe we got to wait till 7. I don't know. It's just market's dead. Does that make sense though, guys, on the time heals and moving sideways? It just changes the trade a little bit the longer you go sideways. So sometimes it's not, if you go sideways, you don't want to just keep sitting on a bunch of risk. Plus, you're exposing yourself to, Trump's up now. So the longer you're sitting with a lot of risk on, you're exposing yourself to more possible events. He hasn't tweeted anything yet today, has he? I don't see any tweets either. It's funny. I'm gonna keep talking. I'm gonna ignore this drop so that it'll keep going. It's funny. We used to complain on the desk how much Obama was on TV. You know, and now we just have to follow the POTUS tweets. Euro Kiwi may start to roll over here too. Maybe this seems like a little bit of a 15-minute cycle change here. Euro is not quite there, but it's trying. I mean, we got Euro Kiwi rolling over the cycle. This looks much better. Craig, is this kind of making some sense to you, partner? Which part of the world are you in? He's, this thing is just locked up. All right, guys, you can bid below the market here. Some euro, New Zealand dollar. We need dollar yen to come down. We need the yen to strengthen. I like the 15-minute cycle on cable. Did any of you guys short sterling? I didn't. Just talking about you could maybe lean a little bit short here around the 8. Yeah. I kind of had enough size over here. Just didn't want to double down. All right, let's go. Break these lows. Put some energy in the market. Start playing some music here soon. Maybe that'll do it. Lots of room on the intermediate term for cable to go lower. Talked about it, was it yesterday or Monday, that it's kind of a 123.5 to 120. I thought I said 127. 2570, I think I said. 123.5 to 125.70 range. Lows down here, resistance up here. You could call it 123.5 to 127, I guess. So lots of room down here to run. It'd be nice to see a BCI here on the hourly and cable. I don't see what the market's holding on to here. All right, guys, I'll be back here. I'm just kind of getting antsy. All right, guys. Listen, we've been going sideways here for a while and you're back towards the low. So if you got heavy up here, it makes sense to just get some back. I don't really care if, how many pips you're in the money. It's just that this type of move, when you're trading heavy on the 5 minute, you should see some follow through. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 candles. I just don't, you know what I mean? That's just too much time to be leaning really heavy. So when you get back to the bottom of the range, I think this is a good time to just lighten up, go back to something a little bit more comfortable. All right. I'm not saying get flat by any means. I'm just saying it's an okay. I mean, I got some back just while we're talking here, just because that's 16 candles sideways. All right. But we can probably go down now. I'm just saying when you get the opportunity to lighten up. All right. Now bid into the lows for some more. I just think that's just how I think, guys. When I'm heavy, I just want to see it act like it should act and not take so long. And then, you know, you go back to a little lighter position or a medium sized position. Was the right pivot to use up here though? That's why we use those highs, that's why you use the pivot to stay in the trade. If you're using like a dollar stop, which I hate, maybe you would have stopped out here, you know? I mean, I like a max loss per trade, but you shouldn't be having it. If you get heavy, you back up 10 pips and you're at your max loss per trade. I think you got to be a little bit more reasonable with yourself and just give it some room when you haven't broken a pivot. But anyway, some people would just trade based on their P&L and maybe would stop into the highs, having no concept of using a lower high as a pivot. You guys still with me? All right. So we're still short, kind of lightened up. Um, see if we can make lower lows. And that concept of time heals and going sideways and being kind of heavy and sitting for a while on a larger position. It kind of goes back to that same concept of when you're in the money and it's taken you a while and you've kind of been sitting through some periods where you're out of the money and near a stop. When you get towards the bottom of that range, whatever that time frame is that you're sitting in that range, you don't want to lose a finger, so you just take some down there. It's just easier than some days when there's more momentum, you're gonna put that on and then it'll just go. That's what you want to see happen. When it just kind of dies on the vine. I don't like to be greedy. Just try to get some back, and then it makes it easier if you rally back on the 1 minute towards the top of the range to kind of work the position again. All right, Dave. Finally, you stepped it up here. hit the market down for us. All right, good guys. Should be all making money here. You guys still short, right? Better be. All right, Dave. Good job, man. You guys are doing good here at Pound Yen, right? Andrew, you making money? Mike, you guys should all still be short, right? It took a while, but I think one of the most important things, guys, about this trade was this TMS here in these lower highs. Coming out of some here makes this move a little bit easier to sit through. Guys, BCI here in the 5 minute. I'm gonna add some back on that, just BCI. All right, and now the stop for this trade, I'm gonna move right above the BCI, okay? So got heavy, lightened up, covered some more, reselling a little bit of what I just covered. Now I know where I want to put my trailing stop. It's one of the bar by bar category stops, right above a BCI. And gonna cover some euro, New Zealand dollar. This is I don't really like taking. It doesn't make sense, right? If you sell right after a BCI, it doesn't really make sense to take in the same candle. So I don't like taking profit right after BCI, and that's true for even if you don't add. If you're short and then you see a BCI, I don't really like taking profit. The immediate candle right after the BCI, unless it's just a large candle where this, if this candle starts going like this, if it goes from this to this, okay, then we'll start taking into 142. But otherwise, I want to take on the next candle or the next push. You guys know what I mean by a push, right? Push into new territory. If the next two candles are like this, that's not a push. This is a push into that next push. What's going on, Nick? All right, man. I wasn't sure if you were with us today. I was trying to remember what you said yesterday. You had meetings, or I thought maybe you were out today. Oh, you said you couldn't make the morning session. That's what it was. I'll walk through what we've been doing though in a second. Let me just stay focused here for a few. Sitting right on the bid down here. Hey, is Craig, are you still with us? Or I think you might have to work, guys. There's another addition to the team today, and I was gonna wait till everybody was kind of here to introduce him, but I think he's more of a London guy. Anyway, we'll try to do that tomorrow. So we had 3 successful winning trades this morning. Short the euro. This one hasn't moved much, euro kiwi, and then pound yen. We actually got heavy on pound yen. Dave, are you still short? Or are we not trailing out again? Okay, guys, take on this next push now. You can take some here and be bidding below 142. Guys, it's going to be sometimes a little bit tough for me to do a lot in New York session when we do a London session. And coming into 8 o'clock, I'm gonna have some commitments on the institutional side too. So I gotta I want to talk to some of you that just came into the room about these two trades, but I may have to be brief and then come back maybe after stocks open and talk some more if you want. Um, okay, Dave, so are you still short, buddy, or no? Okay. All right, try to stay with me on some of these pieces. I mean, even if it's like, you know, I'm not really care about the size. I just want to form the habit of staying in some of this. Yep. And I know I'm not beating you up. I'm just trying to work with you on that. You know? Yeah. So here's our BCI. It's kind of halfway in the middle. 15-minute cycle is getting low. So this is where we want to be out of most of our short, right? Keep going back to your cycles. So this is such a wide whippy range in pound yen. I mean, halfway is 141.90 area. What are we down on the day? 40. Depends on where you start your candle. You know, this is a kind of a small There's a lot of room that we could go lower. If you look at the size of some of these daily candles. So you could still go another 50, 100 pips. I mean, dragon will move around like that. 30-minute cycle crossing down. Very oversold, way away from the 8. Mm. All right, let's do this. I'm gonna run through these trades real quick. Take a break for like an hour. I mean, I think you guys, everybody's made good money on pound yen. This euro trades probably, you guys know what to do here. On euro New Zealand, use this as your pivot if you're still short here. I'm bidding below the market, took a little bit off here. This is kind of a smaller position, but anyway, use this as your pivot. Okay, don't let it go back above there on the short side. And obviously you'll cover into these lows and lower lows. Let me just bid a little bit more below the market here. Okay. All right, so the first trade of the morning, day trade, are you guys all paying attention for those of you just coming in? All right. Okay, so first we started on the euro. Pretty good downtrend. Whoops, let me get rid of this. Pretty good downtrend. All right, but when we start from the 30-minute, the cycle was down on the 30-minute. 15-minute, I don't remember where the 15-minute was, to be honest. It was kind of low, I think. Let me go to 2 screens. But right in here, I'm noticing the cycle, I think on the 30-minute, and then this was in a clear downtrend. So I see this candle and I start my short there. Didn't cover anything into the lows. was kind of just getting online at that point. That would have been the right thing to do. Um, Sold some into this bounce. All right, and then this is just walking this down, really. We talked about using your this as a pivot. And it was just there was a couple, 1 minute bounces in here you could have added, and then it's just about covering into the lows. That one was pretty straightforward. That one kind of worked right away in the beginning, and then pound yen did a lot more teaching on that one. We did there's a little bit more going on here. So sticking with the process, you come in on the 30-minute, and we actually went long first. All right, and that was because this uptrend, if you put your hand over this bearishness here and you just look to the left, this was in an uptrend, right? But what we did good is we only bought a one lot. I said stay small, just nibble a one lot, because this 15-minute cycle, I think we're about halfway here on the 30-minute, but the 15-minute, wasn't there. You can see, you guys see this? Nick, do you see this? How the 15-minute was in a down cycle? So that's important, because if you're just trading with the trend, you're buying there, and it's tough to know how heavy you want to get. But we said literally bought one lot only, and then the 15-minute just never turned, and we broke the bands. And I said, guys, let's just get out. Now, then we even talked about you could have, if you see, the nice thing about being light when you're waiting for the 15-minute is that even if you get in trouble and you're light, you could have bought here and still had an average cost right in the middle, right? If you buy one here and one here, your average is boom, right in the middle. Even if you wanted to try it at pi and stay with it on the long side, because you were light here, you would have had a chance to get out on that first rally, okay? And maybe you bought two lots here, your average would have been even lower. All right, and it still would have allowed you to get out. So that's what's key about being light with the cycle, waiting for that cycle to turn. But then we also talked about there's a difference between buying pullbacks and then buying a collapse. We don't really want to buy, we don't buy collapses in general, okay? This is a collapse, and it looks more like a collapse on the 5-minute. So what do you have here though, guys, when you have this? This is a pretty decent wall, right? So we also talked about at this point in time down here, we were talking about a rally about halfway is where we really want to short. This was a great trade today because there was so many little aspects of getting this right. So when we were down here, didn't we, guys? Remember we talked about halfway, and then we even talked about when this was starting to rally, we're like, we're just going to wait and wait. We got to wait for this 15-minute to come back up before we want to kind of zero in on our size and our timing to short this thing. And so we waited, we sold a little bit, and we just let this come back into that halfway point, and that's exactly where you got your high. All right, so while we were waiting on the 15-minute to come back up to think short, we knew that our risk would be above this bearish candle. It started it off right above here. We knew that we wanted to sell into the rally, and then it's just about timing it right. So when we went to the 5-minute, oh, this was just such a good trade. Right, guys? We were just waiting on the 15-minute, and then we were just identifying the swing line. And so we sold a couple lots into the rally. That's fine. That's the left-hand side of the chart, right? And then boom, right here, we said get heavy short. And we were even aware that the 15-minute hadn't cycled and crossed yet. But we were willing to give it a shot because it's within the trend. All right. And there's a pretty clear place to just get heavy, and you're only risking a little bit, right? We're only risking this amount with our heavy piece. And so the game plan there is if that setup fails and you continue higher, that's possible within the context of that 15-minute cycle. But we were just going to take off whatever bigger chunk you put on there. We're going to take that off, and then maybe look to put it back on higher once the 15-minute crossed. And you didn't get the 15-minute to cross till like right in here. I'm pretty sure, right, guys? When did we get our 15-minute cross? I mean, here it was kind of oscillating back and forth. It was really right before some of you came on. It's like 6:30, 6:15. So, but listen, on the 5-minute, so we put that, I hope you guys are listening, because this is the post analysis that you do it. And when you do this, you're reliving the trade twice. And for those of you that weren't in the trade, you're getting the same experience. Okay. So short here, stop above the high, right? Now, what I like about this trade is because this is a lot of time that went by here. And normally when you get this set up, this will produce follow through. If it's very bearish, if there's momentum, if there's energy. We had 16 candles between our sell setup and this way. And that's okay. That's okay if you're sitting on like a normal position. But if you get heavy, I don't like being exposed for 16 candles, and I don't like all this time going by, because this is the big bearish footprint. And the more time goes by, time heals. So this starts to feel a little bit like you're just working off some of this bearishness the more that time goes by. So we were talking about that as we were sitting through all this back and forth. All right. And what I also liked about this trade is, let me try to zoom in. What I also like about this trade I'm trying to think about where I want to trail this out, if I want to use the 8 or the pivot. I think I'll use the BCI. Anyway, so what I like about this trade is while we're sitting through this, we're having that conversation about time heals. And because we were heavy here, you get heavy and you were in danger of having to take that risk off and taking a little bit of a hit, a loss, right? So really, this was the first move down, second move down, third move down. By the third move, we were talking about just getting back to a more medium-sized position, regardless of what the price was doing, just because there's so much time had gone by. And this was towards the bottom of this little range. So that was an example of acting on time and regardless of the price, really. I mean, that we were acting because the time was going by, but also because we had an opportunity again at the bottom of the range to get some back. And then the optionality is that if it goes lower, it's fine. You're still going to make money. Okay. There's another thing about this trade too, is that, you know, if we're trading around a little bit in here on the 1 minute, and we initially, this was our short, and we were bidding below the market because we got heavy. So, you know, I don't get heavy and then start putting my bids down here. It's too far. Like I'm trading the 1 minute and the 5 minute when I get heavy. But we didn't get filled here. So after we created this low and then we moved back up to the high, we talked about, hey, sometimes when you put a low in like that, that becomes a little bit of support. So take these bids here and move them up to here, right in front of these lows, or at these lows. And then what happened is we came down and some of us were able to get filled here. And that took a little bit, maybe pressure off. And then because initially we were talking about when we came from here to here, and then we moved back to the low, we said, all right, this is a good place to move our stop to. But if you cover some here, you can give yourself a little bit more breathing room and maybe go back to the pivot here as your stop, or even use the 200. So sometimes it's just the little things. Just getting a piece back here makes sitting through this rally completely different. But the main thing is that this is a great TMS pivot point, and that was a great place within the trend that kept this trade bearish, that kept you in the trade on the short side. And then we finally got rewarded. And then this was a BCI that you could have added on. Didn't take profit here, took profit on the second bar, third bar. So there's a lot going on in this trade, but this was high level trading. We pretty much nailed, wouldn't you say, guys? Pretty much nailed every move. You know? You know, long, light, realizing that the market is telling us it wants to go a different direction, not fighting it, just getting out, waiting. We didn't short the lows. We waited, sold into the highs. We caught pretty much the exact right-hand side. Didn't get nervous or panic into the high here, and then just boom, even added here. That's just a textbook trade. All right, guys, good stuff. I'm proud of you. You guys are getting up early. We're making money here together. You're having to listen to me talk for 3 hours. Good stuff. Well, let me do this. I got to switch gears, and then let's come back at like 9:30.